welfare and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. And that's it. It's very, very short. But it's basically saying you're going to get all the protections of all, like, what, 10 or 11 amendments at the time. Now there's 27 and counting. And you're going to get all kinds of, freedom from this and freedom to do that. You're going to get the right to bear arms. The right to not be illegally searched. That was the preamble. But the South Africans had to write theirs as they were reconstructing themselves from the ruinous idea of apartheid. They had to erase it and start again. And the preamble of the South African Constitution is just so damn brave, just like the Truth and Reconciliation hearings they had years before in that country. It says, "We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of our past, honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who work to build and develop our country, believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. We therefore, through our freely elected representatives, adopt this Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic so as to heal the divisions of the past and establish a society based in democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights, to lay the foundation for a society that is democratic and open, in which government is based on the will of the people and every citizen is equally protected by law, to improve the quality of life of every citizen and free the potential of each person, to build a united and democratic South Africa able to take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations." And obviously, it's probably the first time some of you heard that, but there's a bit of poetry in it, in that the first line, we recognize the injustices of our past, basically saying, folks, all that back there, we really screwed that up! And then it says, and we honor those who suffered, people like Nelson Mandela and Walter Sisulu, and Dennis Goldberg, and all those people. And then there's all the people who weren't famous for going to prison, who just got burned alive and killed and shot and thrown in ditches. And it says, but we respect those who worked to build this country, which would be white South Africans who architected the cities. And basically, we all live here together, so let's get off on our differences and be united by our differences. And then you start getting beaten over the head: democracy, freedom, potential, equality, over and over and over again. And then the last part of it is the most poetic part of the whole thing, basically saying, if only we adhere to all these great social values, only then can we say that we're a sovereign state in the family of nations. Basically, if we adhere to the ideas of democracy and human potential and freedom and recognizing all of us as equal residents of this country, only then can we sit down at the table and say to the world, hey, South Africa is in the house. And that, to me, is, I've never seen that kind of humbleness and sober, brave look at the history of a country. It's also unique that a country that old is now just writing their constitution. So I said, you South Africans, I think you're doing an amazing job. Just being around you inspires me, seeing what you are taking on. And so I bounced out of there back to America. And again, South Africa, a country that's nice, but it needs work. So I get back to America, and all these weeks I've been reading about this place in America. It's a state of mind. It's also a state of the union called Mississippi. And in Mississippi, where there's a crystal meth lab every 4 lawns, or in the trailer park, there's the community one. In Mississippi, there's a small town called Fulton. In Fulton, there's a high school called Itawamba Agricultural High. You know this story. And several weeks ago, they were gearing up for their senior prom. And a young girl named Constance said, I want to go to the prom, and I want to wear a tuxedo and bring my girlfriend. And the school went, a dyke? A lesbian at the prom? No. That's like going to the bottom of the punch bowl and finding a dead mouse in the bottom. No, we don't want the prom to have lesbian in it. And so rather than say, we don't want this dyke bitch besmirching our beautiful heterosexual event, they canceled the entire prom. They canceled the entire prom lest they get hate mail by rational people saying, you're being mean. You're a teacher and you're being mean to a lesbian girl. That's not good leadership quality that you're instilling in that young American. You're just being hateful, you damn homophobe. And so instead of, suffering that, they canceled the whole prom. And the excuse they gave is the presence of 2 girls, one in a tuxedo, dancing together has the potential to upset the students. We do not want upset. Old people forget what it's like to be young. I'm 49, So my youth is fairly far behind me. I'm probably older than all of you, older than Santa Barbara, you know, so you have your youth a little closer to you than I do mine. But I remember it enough. I remember when my hormones used to like be on their hind legs, you know, howling at the moon, or running with a foaming mouth through cornfields on a full moon night. Now my hormones basically whimper quietly and lie down by the fire and take a long nap and do this all night. Oh, the indignities of